Good morning. My name is Adi. I'm from LTA Mediation. I'm a mediator and I'm attorney from Israel, and I'm doing mediation here in the United States. And today I have
Yitzchak Grunewald from Concord Mediation Group, and I do mediation primarily in the Orthodox community. And I got to know Adi from Cluster Mediation. We met
You're right.
together.
Yes, you're right. It was great cluster mediation. They provide it's a center that actually it's a non-profit organization, and they're working with the court, for a more, I think the people from low income.
Right, it was voluntary work.
It's a voluntary work, but it was great, and we learned a lot, and we gained a lot of experience from them and knowledge. And today we are going to talk about get.
So what is a get? A get is the Jewish divorce that a husband has to give to the wife, and the husband is the one that has to give it to the wife voluntarily to both. So the wife has to accept it voluntarily, the husband has to give it voluntarily. That's the normal way a get is given.
In order to be divorced in the Jewish community, not just in the Orthodox, any Jewish. When Jewish are getting married, they have to go through get beside the court. So it's a civil path, let's call it, and their religion path.
Right.
That you have to do both of them. And
Right.
many people they ask me, so Adi, what shall I do? First, I will go to the Beit Din Rabbanit. This is like the court, but to provide the get. Or first, maybe we'll have the agreement and we'll file to court, to the civil court, and then we'll have the get. What do you suggest for people? What do you think? What is the best way, or there is no best way?
So what I like to do it all together. That's
Okay.
really, which obviously the civil court we both know. You're gonna have to wait from when you sign your agreement. You have to wait another 2 months, anyways,
So,
for the judge to sign off. But what I like to do is have the agreement, bring it to the Bezdin, sign, and do the get at the same time. Some people do it before, some people do it after. Sometimes the get could just confuse people, and they like to just get it out of the way.
right. Yeah. So, and we have to say that when it comes to high conflict parties, then the get it's a tool. Especially it's a tool for the man because he's the one that needs to provide the get to the wife. So then it's a tool. But when it comes to mediation, usually people are coming more, I won't call it in peace, at least not in the beginning, but they're coming more with the willing to resolve their dispute, to find a way how to live not together anymore, but to have, from one household to two households in a peaceful way.
Right,
So
and
then
the get, meaning as much as it may be considered a tool, as we know as mediators, it's not a good tool to use always. You could think of it, let's say, as consider it a sledgehammer, but that's not something good when you're trying to figure out a family. That's not really the tool that's going to help you raise your children better, have more money, divide the money better, or figure out how you're going to divide your partnership, because you're holding on to something that eventually you're both going to want anyways. So,
and people they have to know, even if you're getting divorced, you're getting divorced from each other, but you're not divorce your kids. And you have kids together. So it means that when the kids, like they will have a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, they will get married, they will have kids, you're going to be there. And
right,
always you will be there for them.
The separation from husband wife, there's still father mother, and you really have to. You're fighting for these kids against the rest of the world. You want these kids to succeed. You want them to have a good life. You don't need conflict. Is the worst thing for children, and children seeing conflict. And even if you feel like you have to go to court or you have to go to Bezdin, it's for sure worth it to go with the idea that we're going to keep these kids out of the conflict as much as possible.
No.
And the other thing I would say, which as mediators, I think we both would feel very strongly about, is that when you think about interests and you think about your interests, manipulating the other person or holding something back that you're gonna want anyways is not gonna help settle. It's not gonna help move forward. And it's what.
But sometimes you're not thinking about it. When it comes to divorce and you're really mad and each one has his own issues and angers, So then you're not thinking really clear. You're not thinking rational. You're thinking more emotional. And but because of that, we are here as
Right.
mediators, and we have to bring you guys, a little bit the logical, how to think in a different way, and like you said before, that this is not a tool, and in the end, this is the role that you're giving to your kids to fight and to there is another way to communicate to each other.
Right, and it's in everything. It doesn't just mean, in for a get. A get is an example. It happens to be an example in the Orthodox community, but I think in every community there's a certain thing that we could consider the get. Whether the mother's going to pack enough clothing, if she's the primary, if she has their clothing, did she pack the right clothing? Is the father going to come on time? Is the mother going to, there's all these things where if you want to make life difficult for each other, it's going to be really hard. Or you could work together and you could figure out together. Nobody planned on a divorce. Divorce is painful, the actual divorce, but we don't need to make it more painful. We don't need the process to be painful.
Right. And all the time I'm telling people when they're coming to my practice, and they're asking me about the get, about the alimony, about the child support, about all the law things, even get, it's like law, it's religion, and I'm telling them, let's put everything now alongside with us and not with us, and let's talk. Let's talk how your life is going to look from one house to two houses with your kids, that they will be there, they will be involved, what will be in the holidays, how do you want to look at when it comes to their birthdays. And I think that when you start to talk about that, and then comes the get, and then comes the money, child support, animal, whatever, then you can talk a bit more logical, maybe less emotional. Emotional always is there, but a bit less. And that's what I'm trying to do, at least when it comes to mediation. So, and do you have any, for example, in my agreement, I add a clause that says about the agreement, about the get. And it says, when we file to the civil court, it says that the husband has to provide the wife the get. And of course, guys, we can provide you this clause if you would like to. And do you have it?
It's a very common clause that everybody has to do it anyways, because there's the removal of barriers, at least in New York, that you have to sign. Right. But normally, meaning through mediation, if you're settling, you're settling. You're not gonna go through mediation and say, but I'm still gonna, And one of the beautiful things about mediation is that people keep it afterwards. If you settle through mediation, chances are it's your agreement, it's what you made up. You came to peace with it, that this is happening, and you're taking it in a very healthy way. We could always drag our feet and complain, and you always have the people that are upset about how child support works, right? They want to fight City Hall. Well, it's not fair. Why? Just because it's 5149, why am I paying full child support? Or there are these things that you could become someone that's going to help draft the law, but I wouldn't do it from someone's personal case, and that's something that could get very emotional. And a lot of these things you might not agree with, but we have to live life in the same way. We're not going to try to change tax law ourselves, even if we don't like it, or change the gas price. You could vote, you could this, you could that, but our personal cases should not be taken as more than that. And we should the healthy way to resolve it is through having a healthy conversation.
And I think that the most important about mediation, and we're not talking about get, even when to go to get the get, I think that in the end it's the decision of the parties. And this is the beauty of mediation. Because in mediation, not in mediation, usually the court, the judge, he's the one that will make the decision. The attorneys will fight your dispute because this is their job. And in the end, the judge, he is the one that will make the decision. And in mediation, not the mediator. The sides, they are the one that are going to make the decision with the help of the mediator. And they are the one that can, say, okay, we want get now, or we feel that we want it in the end of the process, or during the process, which is okay, like you say, it doesn't matter when, just matter that in the end it's going to be.
Right, and it's very interesting because I've had clients. I'm not sure if you ever had this, like a client that's a Kohen.
Yes, I
So he
had.
can't get remarried
You're
if
right.
he gives a get.
So let's maybe
So
explain
they
for the
would,
people that they will
yeah,
know. If you are a Kohen and you got a divorce,
you can't remarry your wife because a Kohen could only marry someone that wasn't divorced.
right.
So they have it sometimes where, which really in every case, it's not like, some people think, oh, you went to mediation and you got divorced the next day. It's not the next day, it
It's
takes some
not.
time.
It takes
But-
time, of course.
But, it's not court either, hopefully. It really depends on the clients what they want, but
No,
a
it
client,
takes a lot of time compared to court. This is true, but it's not going to happen in snap your finger and boom, I got divorced. It takes
right. So I had a client. Honestly, they came to their agreement pretty quickly, but he was a Kohen and he did not want the divorce, and he said, "Let's wait a little bit just to make sure that this is final."
Yeah.
And so they made their full agreement, and they even made up how long they're gonna wait.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, this is nice. No, I haven't. I didn't have. No, I didn't. But so and when people getting a divorce with the second time, for example, it's the same like with the first time.
So that's very interesting, right? When we talk about the get as, something that people, sometimes is a hot topic, because people think that they have the control over it. But what ends up happening is, first time, at least, I don't know the statistics, as I know,
Okay.
is statistics, at least for me. First time majority, it's the wife that wants the divorce. That part I know that it's the same in.
Yeah, right.
In,
Because she
for
wants to
everyone.
free. She wants to feel like like freedom. That if she would like to remarry again, if she and
Or even just asking
have to
for a
ask-
divorce besides
right,
for a
this is
get,
true.
right?
With me too. With my clients, the same.
So for them, the husband feels like giving a get. He might feel like I'm giving something because he's not really consenting to this divorce. It's happening to him, which
Because she's the one that initiated the divorce, usually.
right.
And another thing you have
And
to
you need me to
It's
agree to
control.
the divorce. That's where they feel they have the control. Second time, a lot of times, what I find is second time is actually the wife that asks for it. I'm sorry, the husband.
The husband
asks
does
for it,
it?
right? The wife that doesn't
Interesting.
want it.
Why? Why do you think?
I'm not sure, but I mean, what I do see is that they don't have that stigma that they had the first time.
The shame.
They're used
I'm
to it
divorced.
already.
Yeah.
It could even be that the mother came in with, the wife mother came in with children, and that didn't work out too well.
And they say, we
he's a little
did,
less
we did
of
it
a
once.
children.
It's nothing the second time or the third time. We can do it very
So
fast.
over there are ladies that are not willing to take a gap.
Really?
Yeah,
This is interesting.
yeah.
This is
There's
interesting.
husbands.
Yeah.
Now, it could be there could be a lot of things. I don't want to just paint this with a brush,
Yeah, of
but
course. Yeah.
just that dynamic is more common second time, where a wife might not want to take a gap compared, and all the things that the husband wanted the first time, you could see like the husband was really emotional. Let's try it again. The wife might be the second time. 1 second, let's try it again. I don't know.
It's
I don't know why
But
exactly.
to
I'm not going
analyze
to
it,
try
it's
to
very
act
interesting.
right.
Yeah, to analyze it.
I don't-
But you have to understand when it comes to mediation, there is a control, because when you're going to court, the lawyers again, they fight your dispute and you have to judge. So you're really like stand beside as a party, but on the side. But when it comes to mediation, suddenly there is a power of control. One wants to show, I'm the controller here. I'm the one who will make the decision. And the other side too, and then it comes to get as
And we
well.
really have to move, meaning in mediation, as part of the process, is we're switching from people thinking it's control to being
You're right.
empowered.
You're right.
And when you're empowered and you realize that I have choices and I have decisions and I don't need to control and force because I'm fully empowered. And when someone realizes that, they're not going to self-harm themselves.
It takes time. Usually it takes
Yeah.
time. Usually in the first session, at least with me, my sessions are 2 hours. There are a lot of game of powers between them, and then it gradually it went down.
And it's a change. Like when people think I have this and I could,
Yeah.
yeah, you could. Someone told me an example one time. You have a big strawberry shortcake.
Okay.
Could you put it on your head? You could put it on your head. Could you smash it in your face? You could smash it in your face. You could do whatever you want with it. You could put it on your couch.
No.
but it's not a smart idea.
Yeah.
It's not always.
So to
Yeah.
say, but unfortunately, people they're not thinking about smart. They're thinking right, and sometimes in life in general, it's better to be smart and not right. But when it comes to a get, you can, if you want to do it in the beginning, you can do it in the end. You can do it when you file to court your agreement, and then you can go to Bedin or Beni to that they will provide you the get. So it doesn't matter. It's up to you guys, whatever you will decide.
I would also say it is an important thing, part of what we want to bring out of here. It is an important thing to do. If you're Jewish, you should do it. It would resolve a lot of issues that
Of course,
could come out, and it's
it's
pretty
very
much a
important.
technical process. It's
You're
not
right.
something you have to be scared of. It's going to be very comfortable.
And it's a very short process. It's not like to go to a civil court now. It's a very short process and not expensive process.
Right.
And you should do it. When you're Jewish,
You should do it, and also it could be a beautiful process as well, because as much as in the civil court you might be fighting, and each one of you could actually kind of demand a divorce.
You're right.
In a way, you might have to wait 6 months or whatever it is, but a get is something that I find when people go through it peacefully, it could be a really nice thing.
Yeah, and so think smart and not right. And if unfortunately you're going through divorce, so we think that the best way is mediation, to go for mediation, and especially for your kids and for yourself, and that you can continue your life in a better way.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
For having me.
Yeah, thank you, Yitzhak. Thank you for coming here. It's my honor. And if you have any question, you can contact me or Yitzhak, and we'll be more than happy to answer you. So have a good one.
All the best.
All the best. Bye. It was good.